So I want to show you a little bit of my thought process, my procedure for coming up with podcast titles. We have some good ones already, but they're kind of a first pass, and we want to make sure that we don't go too crazy with the filler words like executing or like, I don't know, grow your business, I guess is okay. That's kind of on the iffy side. Harnessing the power. We want to focus more on like artificial intelligence and then something useful in Kevin Surace. And so some of my favorite YouTube channels here say things like money is not a math problem, 3 reasons you shouldn't do this deal. We have Chris Miles here who says get rid of debt and build wealth, financial literacy. So 3 keyword blocks right in there. Infinite banking, Warren Buffett, real estate investing, financial planning. Do you see how there's these, it's pretty short, but there are these keyword phrases that we want to get in front of people who are searching this stuff. Philip DeFranco, Taylor Swift, torture streams, Hurricane Idalia. We have red flags in your relationships. We have set boundaries. Lawyer explains how to stay calm. So they're like pretty short, 50 to 60 characters. And then the way I like to do this is to sometimes click over to the person's website and see what kind of keywords they're targeting. So in this case, at Vance, he was targeting generative AI. So we want to help him with that, right? In his website, he's targeting this phrase. And so I like that, generative AI for software quality. And so at Vance, we'll say the leader of generative AI with Kevin Surace. And so what I do is I look at what's kind of already there and see if there's any like fillers. I click over to their website, and then something that is kind of fun is ChatGPT, chat.openai.com, and you can have a conversation with this chatbot, and it can generate some possible SEO titles for us, and we can tell it to generate short ones. That way, we don't fall into the trap that I personally fall into of like generating these super long titles. So what I do is I have 2 things. First of all, I have a folder that contains transcripts of these, how many? These 20 or so, 18 podcast episodes that we need to like revise the titles a little bit. And then I have this prompt that I am going to paste in. And what happens is if you paste in a whole transcript into ChatGPT, then you can reference the transcript in the further down chat messages, and you can say things like, give me podcast notes for this episode. You can say, give me SEO titles. But if you pasted in all of this, it would give you an error saying that it's too big of an input. So here's the secret, is we have this first prompt here that says, I'm going to paste in a long podcast transcript in multiple parts. Once you have understood the first part, reply next, and I'll paste in the next part of the transcript for you. So we'll copy this out here. We put this in the chat, and then I'll do a Shift-Enter to give myself some new lines without sending in the transcript. And I'll open up, and we'll try doing like half of the transcript. Hopefully that's not too much. Okay, and then it says next, and then we'll grab the second half of the transcript, and luckily we only had to do it in 2. So here's the kind of the analysis, and then we'll grab the other part of our prompt here, where I say list me 10 possible catchy blog post titles, and include the guest name, company name, relevant keywords, keep it brief, 50 to 60 characters, avoid keyword stuffing, 1 primary keyword. See what it comes up with. And it gives us 10, that way we can kind of pick and choose what jumps out at us. So we say, exploring the AI and entrepreneurship, I like that, and I like customer support. So we're looking for more of these keywords and less fillers. So instead of utilizing the power of AI. I do like the successful business though. So AI and entrepreneurship, I'm going to say Yobi, AI, entrepreneurship, and customer support with Ahmed Reza. Okay. And then I have another prompt here that's list me 10 permalinks, which I'm not really sure if I like this prompt. I say follow SEO best practices, and it gives us an idea, but I think I'll do Yobi, Ahmed Reza, AI, customer support. So we'll go back here. We'll say Ahmed Reza, AI, entrepreneurship, customer support. Okay, next one. Find your audience, Nathan Young. So his is find your audience. So we have that. Creating and executing marketing strategies. I guess it says something, but it kind of feels like you're not saying much, right? So let's try again. And so the next thing about ChatGPT is that you want to have separate chats for different podcast episodes that you're creating, because if you keep on adding to the same chat, it's going to like mix them all together and it's going to use the previous episode. So we just put this in the trash can. So we're done with that one, and we'll start it. Or you can just click on new chat. And so what we'll do here is go back to our prompt. I'm going to paste in a podcast transcript. I'm going to open up this transcript in the other window and kind of gamble and see if we can get away with just the whole first half. Okay, got it. And then we'll put in the next half, and Control C copies, Control V paste, and then a Control Enter does a quick send, if that saves you on some time and some keystrokes. And then we'll go over to the catchy blog post titles and see what that gives us. I like fractional CMO, elevate marketing, focus. So with fractional CMO and find solutions to marketing and growth issues. So solve marketing and growth issues. Okay. And then we'll try the permalinks prompt. And while that loads, we'll click on his site. Find your audience.online. Fractional marketing team delivers pipeline growth. I think I might work that in. Let's see. So marketing problems and create pipeline growth. Okay. Nathan Young. All right, I think we'll just say fractional CMO marketing Nathan Young. Okay. Next up, Ginny Saraswati. So first I noticed that her name is misspelled, I believe. Let me just make sure. About us. Ginny Saraswati. Yes, we need to really make sure there. But while we're here, let's look at their sort of keywords. Podcast coaching, podcast accelerator, audio production. So I like the podcast coaching part. So with podcast coach and grow your business through podcasting. I guess that's cool. It is kind of plain. So let's see if ChatGPT can give us something a little more interesting, a little more standout-ish. We'll go again. Paste in multiple parts. And then, so there's Nathan Young. And open up the correct document. Ginny Saraswati. Next. Okay. And then catchy blog post titles. Podcasting growth, podcasting ROI. So I like that, growth and ROI. Podcasting growth and ROI, but then I don't want to reuse the podcast too much. So all right, maybe we'll just take out the second. Ginny Saraswati. And then maybe we'll use podcast coach in the permalink. How's that? Okay. Next up, at Vance, Kevin Surace. And we already kind of tweaked that from going to his site, but I'm curious about what ChatGPT gives us. So we'll say, here's Kevin Surace. I'm going to paste in a podcast transcript. Paste in the first half. And then the second half. And so it's giving us a big thing. And sometimes it's a little synopsis. We can see what keywords jump out. Content, humor. AI hype cycle, keynote. So he is a keynote speaker, so we'll say keynote speaker. And cybersecurity. The innovator. Okay. Next, Respana, Farzad Residi. So this one might just be okay as is. Increase organic traffic. So we will close a few of these windows. And just be very careful to create a new chat window instead of using the same one. And paste in the first half. Paste in the second half. Then list me 10 blog post titles. Mastering SEO, backlinks, SEO dominance. List me 10 more. Revolutionize, keywords. Okay, so SEO organic traffic. Grow your backlinks and keywords. We'll just keep it like that. All right. Noble Studios. So we'll say Jared Lopicolo. And go ahead and paste in a podcast transcript. So there's the whole thing pasted in. List me 10 blog post titles. Discipline, business growth, EOS. List 10 more. Yo, entrepreneurial mindset. So yeah, I really don't like what's already here. Master marketing to decision makers doesn't really say much. So, but they mentioned the entrepreneurial operating system and growth mindset. All right, moving along. Mally marketing, promote your brand in creative ways. So let's look and see what keywords his website targets. Oops, close the window. Get noticed. Nonprofits, achieve their goals, research ideas. What does their Facebook say? Strategic marketing campaigns. I'm making a mental note of that. All right, and let's see what good old ChatGPT has in store for us. And 968. Wait for it to be done. All right. And then list me 10 blog post titles. All right. Thank you for the summary. Meta ads, data-driven marketing, networking, and what did we say? Strategic marketing campaigns. So let's see how they can fit together. Strategic marketing campaigns, meta ads, and what did we say? Multi-channel media buying. And multi-channel media buys. Strategic marketing, data-driven, all right. And we'll say multi-channel media buys. Twibby, Brenton Thomas, SEO, Twibby Agency. $9.69. Paste in a long transcript. Okay. 10 blog post titles. So can you see how I don't really like very much a lot of these filler like more unlocking success, marketing magic? It doesn't really say much. Lead generation, SEO, and AI. Okay. Digital marketing. But I also am careful to fall under the trap of keyword, because I see sometimes that's the other extreme. Lead generation, and then that becomes boring in its own way too. And what did we say? SEO secrets, SEO and AI strategies. Okay. So Jim Krause, I remember specifically, he has this term called buyer persona. So I think we'll say buyer persona. Increase conversions and get qualified leads. So that might be okay. Let's see if ChatGPT gives us a little bit extra. So I'll paste the transcript. And this is 970. List me 10 catchy titles. Boost conversions, sales growth, marketing game. Boost conversions. Let's see, get qualified lead, get increase conversions, and what did we say? Sales growth. List me 10 more. Best practices. Not a lot, right? The best practices to get qualified leads and grow sales, whatever. All right. Buyer persona. Let's keep it like that. All right, 88 stacks. Jason toy. AI image generation. So I want to make sure we say 88 stacks. And I'm not sure if we can improve on that one either. Some of these are pretty good. So new chats. And this is 971. AI insights. Artificial intelligence insights. They are not getting much. All right. One last look at the site. Stable diffusion. Stable diffusion. Okay. Of stable diffusion. Get that sweet keywords in there. Okay. Unstoppable visionaries. So his brand is Epic Life. And Visionary Abundance Investments. Visionary Abundance, Investment, and Purpose. Let's see what the ChatGPT generates here. So this is 972. Just a few more. Oh, forgot to paste the second half. And then 10 blog post titles. Visionary potential, alien mindset, failure to learning. Based on the above transcript, give me 10 possible ways to improve this existing blog post title. Crack the code. Vision to abundance. Visionary blueprints. The visionary blueprint too. Okay. And his is Epic Life Visionary. Okay, just 3 more, I promise. Regal.io. AI B2C. And so I'm going to change my prompt a little bit. I'll have this, and then I'll say, let's see. This is my existing blog post. Title. Can you improve upon it? We'll paste that. So we'll try something a little different. So new chats. And prepare it for the multiple parts. 973. All right, so now we'll try giving it our initial stab at the blog post. Revolutionize B2C sales. Personalize B2C sales. All right, I like AI-driven success. I don't like revolutionize, winning strategies. All right, we'll just use the AI-driven success. Maybe I'll click over and see one last thing. Best converting sales funnel to hit your growth goals. Best converting sales funnel to hit your sales growth goals. Regal AI B2C. So there's that. And then Khari Harper. Just 2 to go, then we'll wrap up here. So paste in the podcast transcripts. From otter.ai, that's where that comes from. We imported the podcast video recording and it auto-transcribed it for us. We imported that in and give it our existing title. From corporate grind to cleaning empire, entrepreneurial path. I like that. So we have modern made from corporate grind to cleaning empire with entrepreneur. Oh, I like the financial freedom though. Let's try maybe financial freedom entrepreneur. Okay. And we'll work in his company name. Entrepreneurship. All right, last one. Achieve success by raising the value of your business. Doesn't seem like it says very much. But then we look in his bio, he's got the dropout multimillionaire, the psychology of sales and negotiations. So there's some cool stuff in his phrases. The psychology of sales and negotiations. I might just work that in. So the psychology of sales and negotiations with dropout multimillionaire nations. And then got a lot of tabs open. And this is 975. Okay. Oh, reached our limit just at the very end of our demo here. That's okay though. So, looking at his website, guess we'll have to work without the tool. Serial entrepreneur, build successful companies, development team. All right. Look at his blog post titles: high performance sales teams, negotiations. Build a successful, scalable business. Okay, so there we go. Just in time for the ChatGPT to run out. Build on what's there. Make sure to have without keyword stuffing, keywords that are actually relevant. Then go and see on their website, especially on the headline for their landing page, what phrases do they seem to be targeting, and then run it through ChatGPT if all else fails. I hope that helps as far as my process of refining, revising, upgrading slightly the podcast SEO titles. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.